Hi, I'm Dr. Hodges, and welcome to another episode on the state of cybersecurity and what are we looking like for 2021. So we have our first couple questions that came in already, and we won't get to all of them tonight, but we'll certainly get to a couple of them. And but please keep sending your questions in, and we will definitely start to answer the questions as they come in, and we'll try to answer a couple in between. You know, is modern authentication still working? You know, we've been on the hook for passwords for quite a long time, primarily because they're quick and easy to implement. But despite password policies and the tools to help along the way, I think we have a lot of problems with passwords. We had a lot of problems yesterday, and we'll probably have a lot of problems going forward in 2021. You know, the single sign-on technologies that we see probably hurt us in some cases for the obvious reasons. You know, one system fails, they all fail, all the keys to the kingdom. So some of the use cases that we see, that some of the weaknesses and vulnerabilities, we overcome them at the application level. But in 2021, I think you'll see more objects needing to authenticate to other objects. You won't see as many people having to communicate with people. So in some cases that's good. In other cases it's not so good. The question, is it going to be a good idea for a static password? Maybe not good. Your phone is going to have to authenticate to other phones. It's going to have to authenticate to other applications. And so in the background, when that application is remembering that password and it's authenticating on your behalf, if you lose that device, or if somebody gets control of that device, if the phone itself is not password protected, is this going to be a good thing? So we have a lot of challenges on passwords that we have to ask ourselves. You know, multi-factor authentication, using biometrics, using more than one way to authenticate the object, the person, is going to be probably even more important. Using strong encryption. These are things that we took for granted yesterday, to replace convenience, are going to be a lot of things that we have to consider going into the future. Supply chain security is going to have to be part of security policy, for 2020. Where do your parts come from? You know, your parts come from everywhere. One device is made up of many parts, many hardware parts, many software parts. Systems are made from many systems. Systems connect to many systems. A secure system becomes vulnerable when it connects to another vulnerable system. And I think that, this comes really at a unique time. If we've always really looked at the healthcare system in a way, in such a manner that we look at cybersecurity, and we call a virus, in itself, a virus in a system, it infects a system. A virus in a person affects a person. So even the terminology we use relates very closely. You put a vaccine on a computer, you put a vaccine on a person. But even if you look at what we're going on right now with the COVID-19 and the pandemic, truly what is hurting people is the fact that, if you're around a person that's infected, maybe it won't hurt you, but you could be a carrier and you could, infect another person. And so how do we mitigate the risk of exposure? What are the social distance and the physical distance guidelines? What are the things that we can do differently in our routine that we always did at the beginning of 2020, and what we did in 2019? What do we do then that we can't do now, just to, prevent or mitigate the risk of something happening? Whether it's you wash your hands more frequently, you don't touch your face, you don't come within 6 feet of people, you don't touch, surfaces, lots of things we're doing differently. And the whole supply chain security is going to take a lot of the same effects that we're taking now, just within the same measures that we're taking with COVID-19. Okay, by itself, the iPhone may be more secure. I'm never going to use the words completely secure, and I'm never going to use the words immutable, because it's not. Just like the human body is not. But how secure is the phone by itself until you start to load an app on it, until you start to make a call to another person or connect to the internet, until the internet connects to HTTP or HTTPS, or an app starts to speak. And the operating system on a traditional computer works the same way. By itself, it's pretty secure. It only becomes less secure when it connects to the internet, when that internet connects to a website, when that website starts to speak to another site, and it starts to pull data, and that data has a PDF file or an Excel document. And so, these are things that we have to start to look at. Where do our parts come from? Our applications come from? How are systems made? How do systems connect? Okay, the system starts to become more vulnerable when it talks to another system and when it starts to pull other data. And so, that leads us to our next question is, what are the greatest threats in 2021? Well, let me say that I think that there are still some of the major attack vectors that will continue to take place in 2021. My estimation will be that some of the biggest attack vectors going forward will continue to be email and web pages. Okay, we'll still continue to click on links from malicious emails. Why? Because it's cheap, easy, and quick, right? I could send hundreds of emails to hundreds of victims in just a second. Instant action at a distance. Okay, it's cheap, easy, and quick, right? So we're going to continue to use that. The nefarious guys will continue to use it, and victims will continue to fall prey. Web pages, again, okay, the internet is filled, okay, with lots of ways, okay, to turn good sites into bad sites and put bad sites to make them look good. And then there's the IoT. I think we're still in the honeymoon phase for IoT devices. We've used this terminology for a while now: the Internet of Things, the Internet of Everything, the Internet of Everywhere, the Internet of Anything. But again, I think we're still in the honeymoon phase here. I think that we're a long way from seeing what can actually connect, when it can connect, how it can connect, and what it can do when it connects. Lots of opportunity for nefarious action, and it's like I just came up with this brand new refrigerator. Connect it, and just worry about the consequences later. All professionals understand and have understood for a while, the CIA triad, confidentiality, integrity, and availability. In many cases, we started to apply the end to it, for non-repudiation. We spent a lot of time on confidentiality, but I think in 2021, in order for us to be effective with cybersecurity, we're going to have to focus more on integrity and availability, because as we see the IT, the cybersecurity battle space, if you will, fill with these IoT devices, availability and integrity is going to be much more important than confidentiality is. And that's not to say that confidentiality won't be important. Again, as you store data on an IoT device, and certainly there will be data stored on there, these pillars are still important as well. It's not, I don't think it's that we're not winning in cybersecurity. I think the defense is getting better. I mean, clearly our defense posture is getting better. We're becoming more intelligent to what the bad actors are doing, their TTPs. We're understanding the tools that they're using. We're understanding their techniques and their processes that we're doing. And I think that, I think we've come a long way. We certainly are getting better with tools. We're using artificial intelligence more than we've used in the past. So defense is better, but attackers are also getting better. Their tools are also getting better. There's more opportunities, and the IoT helps with this. Everything is connected. Things are less secure when they're getting connected. I've said it in previous episodes that a smart device is updated never. If it is updated, okay, it's probably scanned from a vulnerability rarely. Um, they're patched rarely. It's nothing like a computer, and the same holds for these industrial control systems. As always, it's a pleasure to spend another episode for the state of cybersecurity, and I look forward to seeing you the next time.